All right, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle that overwhelming feeling of being completely stuck in the daily grind. You know the feeling, right? That sheer exhaustion of working a full-time job, coming home, and realizing your biggest creative achievement for the entire day was, well, reheating yesterday's leftovers. It is incredibly tough to carve out space for yourself. But today, we're breaking down a really powerful framework called Nurturing the Song Within. We're going to see how starting small, even alongside your demanding day job, isn't just possible, it's absolutely necessary to give you hope for tomorrow and something to actually look forward to. Now, Henry David Thoreau really hit the nail on the head here. He captures the ultimate tragedy of modern life perfectly, the quiet, exhausting agony of unrealized potential. Look, when you aren't working on something you genuinely love or feel passionate about, even if it doesn't pay you a single dime, you risk falling into this exact state of quiet desperation. Your personal satisfaction, that sense of deep self-development, those are the exact things that keep your inner song alive. So ask yourself, are we trying so hard to squeeze our unique, messy shapes into the rigid little circles of society? And at what cost to our souls? Because of everyday pressures, relentless responsibilities, and just general stress, we constantly try to fit into places we, frankly, weren't meant for. It's quite literally like trying to force a square peg into a round hole by shaving off your own corners. You know, kind of like hiding your quirky, authentic passions just to sound perfectly corporate at the Monday morning meeting. We do it out of obligation and, honestly, to a certain extent, out of pure complacency. Section 1. The Square Peg Dilemma, the Trap of Compromise. It really is the ultimate tug of war, isn't it? On one side, you've got your true interests, your deep passions, the things that actually make you tick. And then, on the other side, the incredibly heavy weight of adulthood forcing you into mismatched situations, debts, loans, credit card bills, the endless pressure to settle down. And what happens? We abandon our true objectives and our vision just to manage these relentless societal milestones. But ignoring your passions entirely just to service those obligations, that is exactly the trap. Section 2. The Threat of Regret, the Cost of Waiting. Look, throwing up these self-limiting barriers, it's just not going to serve you in any way. The source material highlights a really stark reality here. Avoiding your passion project today directly breeds regret tomorrow. If you don't critically evaluate the hurdles in front of you and at least try to carve out a tiny sliver of time for your passion, well, that nagging feeling of, what if I had just tried, it becomes this incredibly heavy burden to drag into your future. That realization that you didn't do everything possible, that you didn't even try, that's a regret you absolutely 100% want to avoid. Section 3. The Power of Small Steps, Building Momentum. Now, here's the really good news. You absolutely do not need to quit your full-time job or blow up your entire life to start making a change. When you're completely tapped out from family and work, you've got to ask yourself one crucial question. What is the absolute minimum I can do to keep the promise I made to myself? Seriously, it doesn't matter how small the progress is, just progress. All of us, no matter how busy, have the bandwidth to commit some small effort toward things that light us up. You just have to do the best you can exactly where you are with exactly what you have right now. Let's make this super practical. Say you don't have the energy for a 50-minute workout, or you can't crank out 50 push-ups because you're crunched for time or just flat out exhausted. Okay, fair enough. But can you do exactly one push-up? Just one. That single tiny micro action is the spark that builds the habit. By doing some work on your passion daily, consistently, no matter how ridiculously small it feels, you build unstoppable momentum. And soon enough, you won't even want to waste time on trivial things because your focus naturally shifts entirely to keeping that promise to yourself. Section 4. Embracing Painful Failures, the Tool for Growth. Of course, the very second you take that first step, you're going to hit obstacles, right? And we need to completely reframe how we view those moments. Yes, failure is uncomfortable, it hurts, but it acts as this incredible forcing function. Out of that exact painful experience comes the necessary push to change your approach, learn from the mistake, and ultimately get better. It literally hands you a blueprint of what not to do, so you can be a much stronger, better version of yourself for the very next challenge. We are all so guilty of falling for the illusion of instant success when we look at high achievers. We see the glamorous stuff, the luxurious lifestyle, the private jets, but we are totally blind to the grueling backstory. The sleepless nights, the near financial ruin, the times they literally went hungry just to keep their idea afloat. We obsess over the shiny finish line, completely ignoring the years and years of agonizing effort and endless sacrifices it actually took to cross it. Section 5. Doing the boring work, developing willpower. Getting through that painful effort requires serious stamina. And building that willpower, well, that means having the patience to embrace the totally mundane, boring stuff. It means swallowing your pride and going right back to the basics. It means being willing to ask simple, stupid questions without worrying about looking foolish. And hey, it even means seeking advice from people much younger than you who might just understand the new landscape way better than you do. You have to build these humble, necessary rituals to push through the hard things and unlock that future growth. Section 6. Fueling your human engine, the foundation of focus. But here is the absolute foundational truth of all this. To maintain this delicate balancing act of a day job and a passion project, you have got to treat your body like a high-performance engine. You simply cannot pour from an empty cup. Your focus, your stamina, your enthusiasm, they all depend entirely on 3 absolute non-negotiables: high-quality food, consistent physical activity, and deep sleep. Without those, your engine just stalls out. Sure, you can be completely unfit and still kind of function and get through your day job, but if you want to truly lead and give optimum performance to that inner song of yours, your engine has to be in absolute top-notch condition. So I want to leave you with this final thought to really ponder today. Take a hard look at exactly where you are right now. Look at what you have, and decide what is the one single tiny step you are going to take today to let your song out. Remember, you don't need to do 50 push-ups. You just need to do one. What is the absolute least you can do today to keep that promise to yourself? Take that step, embrace the boring work, and whatever you do, do not let your song die inside of you.